Mr. Speaker, Donald Trump's attack on Iran is not only illegal and causing death and destruction, it is spreading economic chaos around the globe. Canadians are now seeing sky-high gas prices, and the cost of products from fertilizers to food are going to soar, bringing pain to every household. Economists predict the world will face massive turmoil for years to come.
This reality touches on something much bigger. It exposes the raw vulnerability of relying on a volatile superpower. Washington is exporting disruption, and the global supply chain is paying the price. While Donald Trump has been destabilizing the international system with unpredictable tariffs and unilateral pressure, Mark Carney has been architecting a sanctuary of stability. Where Washington chose disruption, Ottawa chose strategic resilience. For decades, the United States has been Canada's overwhelming trading partner. But in an era of American volatility, Canada is now actively building reliable, long-term alliances.
Mr. Speaker, we are getting this country moving with the biggest transformation of this economy in generations. We are building unprecedented amounts of affordable housing. We are building clean energy. We are lowering energy costs for Canadians. We are building a defense industrial strategy this country has not seen since the Second World War. We are protecting Canadians. We are building this economy. We are empowering Canadians.
That line changes everything. This is not just a speech, it is a fundamental realignment of Canada's national interests. Ottawa is officially pivoting to an unprecedented industrial mobilization to shield its domestic market. So, what does this mean for Canada's economy? It means backing strategic vision with a profound commitment of capital.
Mr. Speaker, we have the lowest debt burden in the G7. We have the lowest deficit in the G7. We have the highest credit rating in the G7. What is this government doing? It's putting it into action with a defense industrial strategy that'll bring $500 billion of investment, with an auto strategy, with an electricity strategy, with the climate competitiveness strategy, with a housing strategy. We are moving forward. We're investing in this country, the second best country in the world for foreign direct investment. We are moving forward. Come join us.
The numbers tell a definitive story. By leveraging the lowest debt burden in the G7, Canada has utilized its fiscal stability to launch a $500 billion protection strategy. This is about leverage. The more partners Canada has, the less vulnerable it becomes to pressure from any single country. The administration is unlocking $500 billion in defense and industrial investments to build a robust shield around the Canadian market. This is economic statecraft designed to neutralize external threats. Optionality reduces vulnerability, and vulnerability is what pressure exploits. This move signals Canada is building optionality. As the debate intensified in the House of Commons, his calm demeanor reflected the absolute confidence of the state. It was a calculated signal to both the markets and to Washington that Ottawa will not be intimidated. The strategy targets three critical pillars: domestic manufacturing, energy security, and advanced defense technologies. Leverage. That's what this is about. Economic leverage, geopolitical leverage. Leverage that shrinks Washington's influence. The era of predictable dependencies has passed. The old rules of engagement no longer apply. Canada is no longer waiting for American policy to find its balance. Instead, Ottawa is engineering a profound structural realignment. By securing the domestic base, the government ensures that trade barriers become a self-defeating instrument for the United States. But here is where the story becomes geopolitical. The administration understands that foreign policy and industrial policy are now inseparable. You cannot project strength abroad without a fortified economy at home. The mandate is clear: insulate the supply chains, secure critical minerals, and ensure that the manufacturing sector remains globally competitive. The execution of this mandate requires systematically reducing reliance on American imports.
Speaker, Speaker, since September, Canada's economy created 80,000 jobs. Because we know in times of global uncertainty, we need to invest, Mr. Speaker. That is why we've made the largest infrastructure investment in Canadian history, Mr. Speaker. We're building big, we're building bold, and we're building now, Mr. Speaker, with Canadian steel, Canadian lumber, Canadian unionized workers, Mr. Speaker. We're laser focused on creating jobs, good jobs in the skilled trades, good jobs for the future generations. Mr. Speaker, when will the Conservatives get on board?
That is a declaration that internal political friction stops at the water's edge when Canadian industry is threatened. By explicitly mandating Canadian steel, Canadian lumber, and Canadian workers, the government is diversifying its industrial base away from American reliance. This domestic resilience perfectly mirrors the diplomatic maneuvers on the global stage. Just as the foreign affairs apparatus bypasses unilateral American channels to work directly with the G7, the industrial apparatus bypasses traditional dependencies by building a self-sustaining ecosystem. They diversify. They build new alliances. They refuse to remain dependent. This dual-track approach forms a substantial barrier against external coercion. The Canadian economy is no longer playing a passive role. It is actively reshaping its destiny. Then came the moment that revealed just how willing Carney is to challenge Washington's economic gravity.
We are in a trade war, Mr. Speaker, and in that trade war we are performing very well. We are getting more jobs than the United States. We have foreign direct investment at the highest level in 18 years. Alberta's unemployment decreased by 0.4 points in this year, and there is much to celebrate because we have a strong focus on building this economy and we are seeing results.
This is code. It signals that the government is no longer downplaying the conflict, but is instead defining its position with absolute clarity. Creating more jobs than the United States during a trade war is a significant strategic advantage. The data points provided on the floor of the House of Commons are not statistical anomalies. They represent a structural realignment of capital flows. When a middle power manages to secure its highest level of foreign direct investment in 18 years during a period of intense global volatility, it sends an unmistakable signal to global markets. Investors crave predictability. While Washington debates the next round of punitive tariffs and alienates its traditional allies, Ottawa offers a sanctuary of fiscal responsibility and industrial growth. The transformation of the energy sector, the revitalization of domestic manufacturing, and the aggressive pursuit of G7 alliances are all interconnected elements in this strategy. By shrinking Washington's influence over the Canadian economy, Mark Carney is systematically reconfiguring the traditional leverage the United States has held over its northern neighbor for over a century. This proves that a nation does not need to possess the largest military to project significant global influence. It simply needs to construct an economy that cannot be easily held hostage. The ripple effects of this parliamentary session will be felt far beyond North America. European allies and Indo-Pacific partners are watching closely, taking notes on how to navigate an increasingly fractured global landscape. Canada is writing the blueprint for strategic autonomy in the 21st century. Every policy shift, every infrastructure investment, and every diplomatic outreach is a calculated move on the global chessboard. The narrative of Canadian dependency has been permanently rewritten. What happened in Ottawa today was more than a routine parliamentary debate. It was a glimpse into a changing global order. If you want sharp, fearless analysis of how Canada is navigating global pressure while expanding its economic power, this is the channel for you. We break down the strategy behind the speeches, the leverage behind the deals, and the leadership behind the headlines. Mark Carney isn't just reacting to events. He's reshaping Canada's global position in real time. Subscribe to Canada SR. Turn on notifications and stay ahead of the geopolitical shifts defining this decade. And now I want to hear from you. Will Canada's $500 billion defense strategy successfully neutralize U.S. tariffs? Or is Washington's economic gravity too strong to escape? Let me know in the comments below.